we have got the libs once again renewing their age-old tactic of attack the families of conservatives. Attack their families. You can't attack the actual person.
Congresswoman,
or if you want to do more than attack the person, attack their family. This is just absolutely egregious. You've got Jen Psaki slandering JD Vance and his wife. But we're going to start with a clip from the way they did this to President Trump. Now they're expanding it to all of the Trump orbit. Check this out. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. Here we go.
Congresswoman Tlaib taking direct aim at the president's family. I want to roll tape and let you take a listen to this.
You're choosing to protect family members of this current administration. They don't have any privacy anymore. They also have to be accountable to us in this chamber.
This subpoena is for personal emails, who their domestic help is, who's watching their. That's ridiculous.
All right, your reaction?
Well, none of us should really be surprised to hear this. I mean, they've been accosting all of us since day one because that's the only hand they have to play. They know they can't beat this president when it comes to the economy. They know that this president is so strong, fighting for Americans across the world now. And how are you going to defeat that? You attack his family. And we're all sadly used to it. But it's crazy. Of course we have a right to privacy. Of course Jared and Ivanka have a right to privacy.
Right.
We're American citizens.
I mean, President Obama's children were off limits, and rightfully so. Even Barron has been attacked by the left.
The left loves to attack family members, surrogates. Remember, it was the left that attacked all of Trump's lawyers. Every lawyer that fought for President Trump, whether it was in Georgia, whether it was in federal court, whether it was in New York, faced attacks, faced disbarment, faced all sorts of ridiculous reprisals and repercussions and acts of petty vengeance from the powers that be. So you've got them attacking Trump's family, but now we've got Jen Psaki, ultra life loser, who's just getting trounced on MSNBC. Nobody likes her. Nobody watches her ridiculous loser show. But now she's taken to podcasts and interviews to attack egregiously JD Vance and his wife. And she actually slanders them. She needs to be sued out of oblivion for slander. Jen Psaki is a disgusting, egregious liar. She is a closeted, violent leftist who would love nothing more than what happened to Charlie Kirk to happen to all members of the Trump orbit. Now check this out, because this is crazy video here.
I think the little Manchurian candidate, JD Vance, wants to be president more than anything else.
Yeah.
I always wonder what's going on in the mind of his wife. Like,
Agree.
Are you okay? Please blink 4 times.
Yes.
We'll come over here. We'll save you. And that he's willing to do anything to get there. And that your whole iteration you just outlined, I mean, he's scarier in certain ways.
He's smarter.
In some ways. And he's young.
Yeah. And ambitious.
And agile in the sense that he is a chameleon who makes himself into whatever he thinks the audience wants to hear from him. Now, what's also true, though, is JD Vance is not – he's in some ways goodish on paper if you like what he believes in. I don't know. But I don't know that he can take the whole movement with him.
No way.
I don't think so either.
There's no riz.
It's got no riz, right?
None.
And he just is a little odd. And
Totally.
so Trump's odd in a different way. So I'm skeptical of that. So yeah, he's got to. I mean, everything going on right now, and I think we have to be very clear-eyed about this, is about trying to manipulate the public around elections. And
it's not trying to manipulate. This is absolutely nuts. So you've got Jen Psaki, who's just disgusting. Jen Psaki is a disgusting liar. And she just, in that clip, intimated that JD Vance is abusing his wife and that his wife needs rescuing, that she is the victim of domestic terror and the victim, essentially, of kidnapping and incarceration, against her will. Usha Vance and JD Vance need to sue Jen Psaki and whatever ridiculous channel this is with these 3 liberal female life losers out of existence. This one, I forget her name, Walsh, I believe it's Welch, Jennifer Welch or something Welch. She's Botox Betty. She's absolutely gross. She's even worse. She's the one who essentially called that said that all Trump supporters, anybody who supported Trump, should not be able to eat at any ethnic restaurant, should not be able to buy any ethnic food, should be completely shut out from the American economy. These people are disgusting. They are authoritarian, totalitarian communists, and they need to be run out of town on a rail. They need to be so shamed by the American public that they never come back. But let me know what you think in the comments. But Jen Psaki and this channel need to be sued out of their mind for slander of Usha Vance and JD Vance. But this is nothing new. This is nothing new to the left. This is who the left is. Check this out from Destiny. We've got another knucklehead here. But here's Destiny. If they're willing to go after their own family, then they're more than willing to go after the family of other people. Usha Vance has done nothing. She's done nothing in the public eye except be JD Vance's, the vice president's wife. She has not gone out of her way to do any major public speaking events other than essentially is expected of the second lady. She has done nothing, yet she is attacked by these vicious vipers in the left-wing socialist communist media sphere, the globalist corruptocrats. Now check this out from Destiny. Because like I said, if you're willing to go after your own family, then you're more than willing to go after the family of anybody that you hate.
How about your parents? If they get their brains blown out at a rally, would you have the same attitude? They are democracy-hating insurrectionists after all. One, you permaban for asking a stupid question, because the obvious answer two is, listen, they're adults. They make their own decisions. If you want to support an insurrectionist president, then whatever comes of that is that's your consequences. Again, it's not a fucking joke. My mom is an immigrant to the United States of America. She was 5 years old. Her parents worked really hard to get her here. She served for 20 years in the Air Force, along with my dad. They know exactly what they're doing. They should know exactly what they're supporting. It was my mom that, ranted at me for over a decade about how evil the USSR and Putin and all the Chi-Coms and all that shit. So whatever, if they go to a rally and it's less end of life cost for me to deal with. It's on them. That's their decision. You think I'm going to lose sleep over that? No. We all have our own path.
So here you've got Destiny basically saying that if his parents get shot at a conservative, MAGA, Trump, whatever rally or event you want, he is basically going to celebrate. Oh, they got what they deserved. This is how disgusting and low life these people are. Realize who you are up against. These people think that if you don't agree with them, you are evil and you are deserving of death. This is who they are. We saw the masks come off after the Charlie Kirk, and the mask has continued to be off because the same sentiment, the same ugly, violent rhetoric and celebration that happened immediately after the Charlie Kirk assassination have continued right up until now, right up until the ridiculous No Kings rally, the flop that was Saturday, October 18th. And we've got videos from that. This is who they are. So first one, you'll probably recognize this person if you've seen this video flying around. But here we've got one of the white leaders.
Hey! Never heard about that?
Celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk.
Never heard about that, you fat ass!
This would be one thing if she was just a completely overweight, deranged lunatic. But she is a school teacher. She teaches at Chicago public schools. Her name is Lisa Martinez. Nathan Hale Elementary School is standing behind this person. She needs to be fired immediately. But of course, the leftists in Chicago won't do that. No, this is who we are up against. Now check this out again from the No Kings rally. The sentiment is continued. This is exactly who these people are. I call this the show your ass theory. Dan Bongino called it the show your ass theory. These liberals, these deranged lunatics are more than willing to show you exactly who they are. They are more than willing to drop their pants and show you their ass. And here they are.
Recently, with Charlie Kirk being assassinated,
He's a piece of garbage. Of course we were mean. I am so tired of people saying, oh, but, it's a terrible thing. No, Hitler is dead. I'm glad Hitler's dead.
Something that I've heard in interviewing Republicans is that they're concerned with the health care going to undocumented immigrants. What would you say about that?
I don't know that it's true. Everybody deserves health care, and we can certainly afford it in this country. So again, they're just, they they're pointing to things and saying it's our fault, we're too liberal. Yeah, it's really depressing. I don't know how anybody your age even thinks of having children, okay? Okay, millions of Democrats did not vote. Whose fault is that? We need to get ourselves together, and we might even need to be a little bit meaner, because the Republicans don't mind being mean.
And by mean, what do you mean? Do you mean protesting? Do you mean...
Maybe we have to, I don't know, stop being so nice.
Because you seem like a pretty nice lady.
I'm a pretty nice lady, but I can be pretty mean.
Now, obviously, this is a liberal, news reporter, or at least she's middle of the road. How you call this woman nice is beyond me, but here we go.
Me too.
Okay, and I have to ask this because people on the other side are going to say that they feel like the Democrat Party has been mean. Recently, with Charlie Kirk being assassinated,
He's a piece of garbage.
Charlie Kirk is a piece of, so here's the nice person coming out.
Of course we were mean. I am so tired of people saying, oh, but, it's a terrible thing. No, Hitler is dead. I'm glad Hitler's dead. Evil people have no place in my world. He was a hateful human being. It was disgusting, the things that he said and did. I don't have time for that. I'm sorry.
She is happy that Charlie Kirk is dead. She is glad. She is celebrating the fact that Charlie Kirk is dead. And she would gladly celebrate if you or I were dead. That's who these people are. They love death. They are all part of a gigantic death cult, in my opinion. When you push God away, Satan moves right in and morality goes right out the window. So does any idea of kindness or love or joy. These people are bitter, angry, violent, ridiculous shells of people. They're like, I want to say they're like corpses walking around full of hate and violence. It's absolutely nuts. What's odds anybody remains a Democrat anymore with these horrible people? That's why you've got a mass outflow of normal people from the Democrat Party. That's why over the last 4 years, you have had an electoral shift in voter registrations of over 4.5 million voters. The Democrats have lost 2+ million and the Republicans have gained 2+ million. And that trend is continuing. Just last month alone, I saw a statistic. The Democrats lost 30,000 voter registrations month over month, and the Republicans gained 50,000. That's an 80,000 vote swing. Encapsulate at over a year, that's about 1 million votes a year, 1 million vote swing. Hence, over the last 4 years, about 4.5 million votes. The trend is continuing. Regular, normal, everyday Democrats, JFK Democrats, not these ridiculous boomers. Regular old JFK Democrats, Jimmy Carter Democrats are out. They're getting away from the Democrat Party. Why? Because this is who the Democrat Party has become. People like Destiny, people like Jen Psaki, people like the woman you just saw, and people like this. Don't forget these people. This is who the new Democrat Party is.
Yo, they got Charlie Kirk, bro. I've never been happier.
Never believe the reason I'm smiling. And it has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. Nothing to do with Charlie Kirk.
I would say pour one out for Kirky Boy, but I don't waste good beer on little bitches.
I haven't posted on TikTok in a long time, but I'm gonna now because rest in peace, bozo!
Charlie Kirk just got put down like a dog in Utah, and I could not be happier. Praise be.
I do not, and I will not ever feel bad when bad people get what the fuck they deserve.
This is who the Democrat Party is. Why? Because this is it's really who they've always been at their core for the longest time. But now they are the ultra-left members of the Democrat Party are now the mainstream. They have pushed the old Democrats, like I said, the old JFK Democrats who were pro-America, who just had a difference of policy, who we could sit down and have policy discussions with. They are gone. Those people are now either independents or they're Republicans, but they are no longer Democrats because this is who Democrats are. And realize it is this type of person, this type of quote unquote voter, although we weren't voters back then, that were the insurgents, the revolutionaries in Tsarist Russia. in Imperial China, in Cuba, in Venezuela, in the Persian Empire, in Iran, pre-Ayatollah. These are the people that the leftists, that the authoritarians, the tyrants, the dictators use to push their agenda. They're the ones that they use to get out there, the students, the teachers, the education people, the ones they use to get out there and push an agenda, to push violence, to push rhetoric in order to get to a tipping point where they can take power. And then what they do is they go eliminate all these people. That's why you had the purge of 40 plus million people in Russia, in the Soviet Union after the Russian Revolution. That's why you had Mao killing tens of millions of people in the Cultural Revolution, following taking power from Imperial China. That's why you had what you had happen in Iran. That's why all these countries are now disgusting, authoritarian regimes. But this is who they want. This is who they are. And what they want is to destroy America and remake it into an authoritarian dictatorship. What are those who call evil good and good evil? That's right. And that is what they are doing now. They actively call evil good and good evil. They actively call the assassination of Charlie Kirk good. They actively call the quote unquote transition, the mutilation of children's bodies. They call that good. They actively call same-sex relationships good. They actively call anybody who's a Christian who stands up for traditional marriage evil. This is who they are. This is what they've become. And it's absolutely scary. And it's why we as MAGA Republicans, as independent people who vote for Trump, as people who love this country, have to stand up, and we have to get into the arena of ideas and engage and win. It's what Charlie Kirk did so well. He went into the colleges and universities and he engaged them with discussion, with argument, with debate, with logic. And he was flipping so many of them. Why he had to be taken out? Because he was actually effective. And we all need to do that. We need to get into this fight. We need to get out there and debate and argue and use our free speech in order to convince people so that we can thoroughly defeat these people. They have to be defeated in 26. They have to be defeated in 28. And if we can do that, we can get a new census. We can get paper ballots. We can forever put the ultra left wing of the Democrat globalist propaganda authoritarian network so far under that they will not win an election for generations to come. That's what needs to happen.